Gah! Quick! Go! Go! I'm feeling a bit peckish. Oh, whoa!
Hey, lad.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Resting. I've been lugging these sacks for ages now. So I decided to take a load off. But I can tell you, it ain't too comfortable here.
I was afraid you were dead. Whenever I see someone lying by the road, it usually ends up being trouble.
Don't worry. I'm fine. You never just lay down under a tree.
I prefer sleeping with a roof over my head. It's safer that way. I heard there's thieves who will even steal the shoes right off your feet while you're asleep.
They must have some pretty nimble hands, I'll give them that. But I'm a light sleeper. Ain't nobody stealing my old boots.
Look, you know you have something sticking out of your forehead, right? It looks a bit like a horn.
A horn? Nobody's called it that yet.
What is it, then?
It's an arrow. Well, what's left of it, that is. A metal arrowhead and a bit of a wooden shaft. It used to be longer, but I broke it off after I nearly took a wench's eye out with it.
What? An arrow? Like, from a bow?
Aye, an arrow. With an arrowhead, a shaft, and a fletching. Simply an arrow.
You have an arrow stuck in your head? Shouldn't you be, well, dead? I've never seen anyone with an arrow in his head who wasn't.
Of course I should be. Dead as a doornail. If it was an ordinary arrow, I'd be pushing up daisies. But it ain't no ordinary arrow.
Eh? And what's special about it?
Always questions all of a sudden. How about you tell me who you are first? Talking to strangers ain't the safest these days.
I'm Henry, the son of a blacksmith from Skalitz.
Oh, fuck. I heard about Skalitz. I heard it was real bad.
That it was.
Well, at least you got out in one piece. Look, the name's Carl. Folk call me Carl Arrowhead. On account of, well, you know.
How come the arrow didn't kill you then?
Because it ain't no ordinary arrow.
You said that already.
Thing is, it's a magic arrow.
Yeah, right.
You don't believe me, do you? Sometimes I get mixed up in, let's say, some confrontation. And sometimes things get a bit dicey. I was always getting beaten up, wounded, battered. But ever since I had this arrow in my noggin, not a damn thing. No wounds, no bruises. Nobody can hurt me. They haven't a chance.
Well, that could very well be a coincidence. You're just lucky.
It ain't no coincidence. It's a gift from God. This arrow here blessed me.
Doesn't it hurt? Looks like a nasty wound.
Look, when God blesses you, you accept it for what it is.
So does it hurt?
Hurts like hell. And it fucked my eyesight up a bit. But that don't matter. It's still a gift from God.
Do you think it could be taken out? Can I touch it?
If you touch it, I'll rip off both your arms, shove them up your arse, and make you clap.
Easy! Easy now! I was just asking. No need to get upset. You're worried I'd get the magic too, eh?
No, I'm worried that you wouldn't march and step, and I wouldn't like that.
Why do you think God chose you to be blessed? What did you do to deserve it?
Well, I suppose all them good things what I did in my life. I take care of my people. I'm a good person is all. I reckon God's pleased with me.
I understand. You're simply undefeatable.
Exactly, lad. A whole year without a scratch. A whole year. And me and my lads got ourselves into some dodgy situations, I'll tell you that. But enough chat. I've got to get back to the camp. I've got a proposition for you. You lug one of them sacks here for me, and we can talk some more along the way. What do you say?
And what's in it for me? Will I get a reward?
You youngsters is all the same. You should help your neighbour without wanting nothing in return. Like a proper Christian, eh?
True. But good deeds won't buy me an ale at the tavern.
All right, then. If you help him with the sack, I'll throw a few groschen for beer your way.
What's in these sacks, anyway?
Just stuff what folk leave lying around unattended. These days, everyone locks up their cottages. Sties, coops, and who knows what else. They keep their valuables in their chests. Folk are plenty nervous. And then, they go and leave a couple of sacks of charcoal lying around outside. And when you see something lying around, it'd be a sin to let it get rained on, wouldn't it?
That's an interesting way of looking at theft. And what are you going to do with this charcoal?
What do you mean? It's charcoal. It always comes in handy. So, will you help me?
Well, I can't let you lug them all on your own.
Glad to hear it. Them sacks are heavy as fuck, but I couldn't just leave them behind. A man can be invincible, and blessed by God, but 2 sacks of charcoal is still 2 sacks of charcoal.
You're probably not a monk, are you? What are you, then? A bandit?
Ha! A bandit? It don't sound too good when you say it out loud. Bandit. Do you know who the real bandits are, in my opinion?
I don't.
Them lords what hold their protective hand over us. They stuff themselves to bursting, hunt in the forests, start wars, and the ordinary folk has to do all the work for them. And when you get in their way, they string you up or beat you like a dog. Not even the worst bandit behaves like that. That's what people should be whipped for in the stocks, not for hunting a deer in some noble's forest, or picking something up here and there. We're just trying to survive is all.
You said we. Are there more of you somewhere?
Of course there is. And with what's been going on, there's more and more of us. Towns get raided all the time, and folk have nowhere to go. So they head into the forests and become bandits, as you call them.
Well, I meant nothing by it.
Right. I used to live an ordinary life myself, before it all got to me. First my wife got a fever, so I paid the sawbones to help her, and nothing. He took the money, but it didn't help, so my dearest died. Then the soldiers came. I don't know if they were ours or someone else's, but they took everything. And whatever they didn't take, they torched. I had nothing left. So now we live in the forest, like animals. We don't have no other option.
Look, if it makes you feel any better, I've lost a lot too.
Of course, we all have. Some more than others. But we've all lost something.
This sack really is heavy. How much further is it?
We're getting close. Hang in there.
Bloody bastards. I reckon they wanted to save their own necks. They had no chance against those numbers. So fucking Judas. So they hanged Murray, I reckon. Not yet, and not likely ever. How come? Because he...
I dropped that sack over there, but look here. Don't you mind just leading me right into your camp? What if I let slip that you lot are here?
Why would you do that? You wouldn't get any reward for this band of nobodies anyway.
I suppose not.
Thanks for the help, lad. I'm glad you happened by and stopped to talk to me. Not everyone is willing to help. It's a rare sight these days.
I'm glad to be of help.
Here's some ale money. And I wish you good luck in these wild times. May God's favor be with you. But now, you should get going. The fellas get nervous when there's strangers around. The Lord be with you.
Go!
Good boy. Good day to you.
Greetings, knight. What brings you here?
I'm mourning. Can't you see?
Did someone die?
My hope. Not far from here, in Sedlets, is buried Sir Valentine. Have you heard of him?
Rings a bell. Isn't he the one who brought holy soil from Jerusalem to Sedles?
Precisely. Almost 200 years ago, Valentine accompanied the abbot of Sedlets on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. There, in the field of Akeldama, he took his sword and dug up a handful of dirt, which he brought here and scattered over the graveyard.
Yes. And that's why you're mourning?
My entire life, I've wanted to visit Valentine's grave and see his famous sword. But now that I am here, I'm unable to go inside. I felt so humbled.
I'm truly sorry to hear that. Can I help you in some way?
I don't know, friend. Unless, what if you went to the graveyard instead of me? You could find Valentine's grave and bring the sword here.
What?
Just so I could look at it. Then you would put it back. I'd pay you well for it.
Oh, all right then. I'll do it. I'll help you. Where can I find Valentine's grave then?
It's somewhere in the church. But it's not so easy to get inside. I myself am not exactly certain where to look. Try to find Brother Morticius. I heard he's looking for help at the church. Maybe if you help him, he'll help you.
And then in turn, I'll help you.
Precisely. What is your name, friend?
Henry. And you are?
I will wait for you here, Henry. Thank you very much. Go sniff somewhere else. You better call back that dog. I'm sorry.
Ja! Ja! Go!
Whoa!
Ja! Slowly. Nice and slow.
What a beautiful horse.
God be with you, brother. Are you taking care of this chapel?
Morticius is my name, good friend. Though all that is shall one day end. Fame and fortune are but clay. Ad honore domine.
Oh. I see. I think.
Though my eyes are old and dim, and I live apart from the world of men, I serve a cause that's good and sound, and companions have I underground.
But slow down. I can't keep up. So, you are the blind keeper of the ossuary?
You speak the truth, and now I ask, if you would help me with one task, will you help me take care of those who sleep below in eternal repose?
You need my help with something?
Christian bones in the church lie scattered. Bringing order to them is a very grave matter. If the prior should see the disarray, he'll send me packing this very day. Then what shall I do, sightless and old, left alone in this world dark and cold, roaming the earth with a beggar's cane? Help me, dear brother, in God's holy name.
Wait a moment. So, there are bones strewn about the chapel, and you want them tidied up?
Aye, 'tis a job that some might find morbid, but fear not, good fellow, you'll be well rewarded.
Wait, am I supposed to touch the dead? No decent Christian should do that.
Fear not, it is no desecration. God shall bless this congregation. They shall find eternal slumber, all arranged in divine order.
What's in it for me, if I help you?
To help thy neighbour is a virtuous deed, and charity thy soul shall feed. But if your body hungers too, some groschen I shall give to you.
All right, then. What am I supposed to do, exactly?
Arrange the bones in pyramids. Make them nicely stacked. Build one out of pristine skulls, the second out of cracked, the third then build from arms and legs, and here there's quite a lot. But bear in mind the commandment, thou shalt not, thou shalt, curses. None of the commandments rhymes with that.
Steal from others thou shalt not?
A pretty rhyme, I must admit, although you're jesting just a bit. Enough discourse now. It grows late. The task before you cannot wait.
All right, so if I understand correctly, I'm supposed to put the bones in 3 piles. Pristine skulls in the first one, the cracked ones in the second, and the third pile I build from the limbs?
As you say, so must it be. And you shall have a reward from me. To find the bones you'll be needing, though, there are 3 places you must go. But don't forget what lies beneath, and descend to the hidden space. Many bones lie there in darkness, waiting for their rightful place.
I see. So I should gather the bones in the chapel and the crypt underneath, and make 3 pyramids out of them.
And should any bones remain, such as ribs and spines, sweep them up together into orderly confines.
What? I should sweep up the remaining bones too? I better go before you think of more chores.
God be with you. I know I am sinful, but still I trust that the Creator who fashioned me from dust cares I am all.
Isn't it getting crowded in there? What's this? It looks like some really old reliquary. What a rare find. Dust you are, to dust you shall return. And then I'll sweep you into a corner. Whew. Doing God's work sure ain't easy. Damn, my back hurts so much. Might I find a new one here? A trapdoor. It seems it leads down into the bowels of the earth.
Hey! Are you intact, my dear brother?
I nearly broke every bone in my body.
Ha ha ha! There's no better place to leave your bones, and that's a fact. But they'll serve you much better inside you and intact. The place you're in is black as night. I'll throw you a torch. Let there be light. Look for bones along your way, after all. In the end, you'll have some benefit from your fall.
Damn it! That sword isn't here. Now what? I'll take another look around here. Maybe it's somewhere nearby. What's this? This corpse must have been lying here for several decades, but it looks like he died yesterday. God, our Heavenly Father, have mercy. First pyramid is done. Impressive, even if I say so myself. Manta Marie. If I hadn't built it myself, it'd give me a scare. Just one. Where did that blind madman get to? He was sitting here the whole time, and now he's just vanished. I should ask if anyone saw him. I'm looking for the keeper of the local chapel. His name's Morticius, a wispy fella. Speaks in verse. I did some work for him, but he disappeared just as he was about to pay me.
Youngster, you ought to sleep more and drink less. Otherwise, you'll come to a bad end.
What do you mean by that?
Morticius was the keeper of the ossuary, all right, only he died before you was even born.
What? Morticius is dead?
As sure as there's a God in heaven.
But I spoke to him. He wouldn't stop babbling in verse.
For Christ's sake, old Morticius couldn't even read, let alone compose verses. Are you sure you weren't imagining it?
Very sure. I have to find him. He owes me for the work I did.
Go back to the ossuary, then. You'll find him lying in the crypt alongside the other dead monks. Wait, what did this fellow want from you, anyway?
I had to tidy up all the bones in the chapel and arrange them into pyramids.
What? You fooled around in my chapel? May the Lord protect you if you've done any ungodly business in there. Come now, show me. What in God's name? You did all this by yourself?
Well, yes.
Well, friend, you're quite the worker. What a mess this place was. I'll keep it like this. People from all over the land will come here just to see this.
Oh, that's nice and all. But I don't suppose you'll pay me for it, will you?
You suppose correctly. A job well done should be a reward enough for you.
This must be Sir Valentine. And he has a sword. Maybe I could just forge one like it, since the real one is nowhere to be found. Nice and slow. Quick! Go! 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 Quick! Ah! Go! Easy, easy. Nice and slow.
You silly doggy.
Greetings. Do you need something?
What are you doing here, Goodman?
What does it look like? I'm handing out wine from my vineyard.
You're giving it away for free?
My vineyard is new, and the folks in this town are damn stubborn. So I figured I'd pour a cask or two into them, and maybe they'd get a taste for it. What about your good self? Would you like to try it?
Free wine? I'd be a fool to say no to that.
My thoughts exactly, Goodman. Here you are. To your health. I'm curious what you'll think of it.
Oh, are you sure that's wine you poured me? This tastes like... Well, how should I say it?
Forgive me, Goodman, but say no more. In Vino Veritas, and the truth in my wine is that I'm a fool, an idiot whose wife is cuckolding him, whose children can't stand him, and even the dog pisses in his boots every morning. And my wine tastes like dog piss as well. I never should have bought that damned vineyard. If it wasn't for those fucking monks selling their wine everywhere they can, I might have a chance. Not like this.
Is there anything I could do to help you?
With the dog pissing in my boots? Well, I'm not sure. I tried sticking his snout in it, putting pepper in my boots, and nothing worked. Piss in my boots again the next morning.
I meant your business troubles.
Oh, I see. Maybe you could. If you're not from around here, that is.
No, I'm not.
Allow me to introduce myself. Caspar Rudolph, vineyard owner and a not very successful wine seller.
I'm Henry.
Maybe you could help me, Henry. I'm looking for someone who's not well known in Kuttenberg. Someone who can pretend to be someone else, if you know what I mean.
Sure, why not? If all you need is someone folk won't recognize.
The monks in Setlet's monastery make excellent wine. They call it the monastery secret. People can't get enough of it, and I can't figure out what their secret is. But I intend to find out.
Right. I understand what you want from me. But if it's a secret, it won't be easy.
No, it won't. But don't worry, I have a plan. The custodian of the monastery vineyard has a relative in town, an innkeeper called Havel. And this Havel is a real know-it-all when it comes to wine. He really likes to boast about it. If you were to pose as a sommelier who's just come back from abroad, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you, and maybe he'll reveal something.
You want me to be smellier? I don't see how that could make a good impression on him.
Not smellier, sommelier. It's a wine expert. Just act intelligent and use some foreign words. It'll be easy. I have some books about wine at home. Maybe you could read through them. You do know how to read, right? Havel's a bit thick anyway, so it won't be hard to impress him.
The book might come in handy. Can I borrow it?
When I said I have it, that wasn't, entirely accurate.
What's the truth then?
The book belongs to me, but I lent it to someone and she hasn't given it back yet. Miss Adleta Mannlicher should have it. I lent it to her during our, let's call it our friendship, which has come to an end.
Didn't you say you're married?
What has that to do with anything?
Oh, I'm sure your wife wouldn't mind if you asked an old girlfriend to return a book you lent her.
Oh dear. Adleta used to have rather more friends than might be expected of a respectable young woman. But her family's patience ran out, so they arranged her marriage and put an end to her dalliances. Since then, Adleta has been confined to her room and guarded like the crown jewels.
And you want me to break in?
Well, yes. Master Swordsmith Mannlicher has a house in Lethlilskar Street. Adleta is either locked in her room or walks in the gardens behind the Italian court, where she is guarded by her brother. The Mannlichers don't want any more problems.
It doesn't matter. I'll find a way to get the book back.
Great! Any more questions?
Do you have any idea what this secret might be?
They're monks, so it could be anything. Maybe they put the crushed up bones of saints in it, or they sing hymns to the wine. How should I know?
Do you really think Havel would just tell me the secret? You don't even know if he actually knows it. Or it might just be a rumor.
Havel really is a bit thick. Either the monks have a secret and Havel will tell you, or there's no secret and Havel will confirm it.
I'll get right on it then.
Excellent. And don't forget, making an impression is the main thing. You look like you can handle it. Good luck. Yeah. A sweet red!
Careful.
Leave me alone,
You
goodman.
have no business being here.
Leave me alone,
Clear
goodman.
off. Grüß Gott. Was brauchst du, mein Herr?
I'd like to go into the gardens. Why are you on guard here?
I'm afraid my sister is resting in the gardens and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Do these gardens belong to you, so you can decide who goes in?
Like I said, my sister doesn't want to be disturbed, and my father, Master Mannlicher, doesn't want it either.
Do you have any idea who I am?
No. Should I?
The city council wants me to inspect this part of the fortifications. So get out of my way so I can take a look.
You get out of here. I doubt the city council would entrust anything to a fool like you. Bald, mein Herr. Go away, lad. You've no business being here.
Leave me alone, goodman. Christ, pardon me.
You have no business being here. Clear off.
I'd like to go...
I'm afraid my sister is...
I'd like to talk to your sister.
I bet you do. If half the men in the city didn't want to talk to my sister, I wouldn't have to stand here. If you want my advice, you'll clear off before it's too late.
And if I don't go?
I'll have to take you down a peg or two.
If you want a fight, you shall have one. But if I defeat you, you won't try to stop me talking to your sister.
I accept, but I won't fight you like that. It would be against my principles. Straighten yourself out. The state you're in, it wouldn't be any fun. Tschüss, mein Freund. You have no business being here, good man.
Ich reiß dir deinen Arsch auf. Come on! Scheiße! Verdammter Metzger!
Are you Miss Adletta?
That's me. And what is your name, you handsome fellow?
Henry.
A nice name. But I have to warn you, I won't be a miss for much longer. Seeing you here makes me regret that a little, though.
The pleasure's all mine. I'm here on behalf of Caspar Rudolph. It's about the book he lent you.
Caspar? Oh, the poor thing got a proper hiding from my father. How is he?
He's well. His wine business is flourishing.
I know perfectly well that it's not flourishing. But I'm glad Caspar at least has good friends.
What about that book? Do you have it?
When we were friends, he gifted me that book. There was no mention of it being on loan. And now he wants it back all of a sudden?
Caspar really needs that book. I mean, I need it.
And I need an explanation. Gifts aren't meant to be taken back.
It's about the ancient secret of the monks at Sedlet's monastery. Caspar Havel... No, sorry. Rudolph Havel... I mean, Caspar Rudolph wants me to pretend to be Havel.
You what?
No, not to be Havel, but to pretend to understand him so he can find out what his cousin knows about it.
Forget it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No offence, miss, but are you even interested in a treatise on wine?
Of course not. But Caspar kept going on about it, and I wanted to make him happy. Since I've been locked up here, I've even tried to read it out of sheer boredom, so that I don't have to embroider all the time.
What if we became friends, and you gave me the book?
You're taking a big risk, good man. My father could have your tongue cut out for that kind of talk. He's not too keen on my friends.
That doesn't bother me.
But it's not that easy to become a friend of mine. First, you need to impress me somehow.
Well, I don't know if this will impress you, but I beat your brother in a fair fight.
So that's what that racket from by the gate was? I thought he'd been challenging some poor wretches again out of boredom. But it's true that it takes someone special to defeat my brother.
I did it so I could talk to you.
You did it so you could get Casper's book back. But fine. Let's say you're telling the truth. A lady needs someone to stand up for her. And a courageous knight deserves a reward.
I'd like to take Casper's book now.
Of course. That's what you came for, isn't it?
How about a kiss?
Here, now? In broad daylight?
Why not? We're alone here.
That's what you think. I don't want to make my family angry. And it would be a pity if you came to harm as well.
So you don't want...
If the circumstances were different, who knows? But your charming courtship has made me happy.
I have the book, so I'll be off.
Farewell, Henry. Never forget me.
Oh, friend. Good doggy. Good boy.
Mugs for sale.
Hail. Careful. Finally.
A true...
Pavel, the owner of the local inn, I assume?
That I am. How can I help you?
When I asked where I should go in this city for good wine, your inn was recommended.
You've come to the right place. You won't find better wine in this city. Have you come from far away?
Very far, Goodman. I'm Henry, and I rarely hear my name spoken in my native tongue.
Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
I did a lot of travelling in Italy, from north to south.
Wonderful. It's not often I get the chance to talk to someone so well-traveled. It'd be nice to have someone to discuss the drink of kings with.
An invitation I can't refuse. Thank you.
Well, good man, how shall we begin our tasting? Ah, I know. How about a little white to begin with?
Excellent.
So, what do you say to that?
Hints of vanilla. That's uncommon. And I have to say, that greenish spring colour is perfect.
You're right. A rare flavor and color tone. It's essentially a lighter wine. I like it because it's suitable for many occasions. When I don't know what to serve, I pull out a Moravian white. My father-in-law loves it. He'll be a blessed 70 years old this year, so I'm giving him a few casks to make his old age a little merrier.
That's very kind of you.
There's nothing but misers in this town. They wouldn't think twice about taking their own mother's last piece of bread. I'm not like that. Do I have money? Of course. But I don't hoard it. I try to make people around me happy.
And you're treating me to this wine. You're a real Samaritan. And like it says in the Bible, you give drink to the thirsty.
Anyway, let's have a cup of something else.
My thoughts exactly.
What shall we... Ah, I know. Let's have some red. How about a young Blaufränkisch from Austria? Or as we call it in Bohemia, Blue Frankovka.
From you, Goodman, anything. Pour away.
Quite a decent vintage.
Oof. Rather bitter.
Bitter, yes. But it is a young wine.
All right, but the colour. It's not blue at all. More of a purple. That doesn't seem right.
It's not supposed to be blue. The name is a reference to it not being as red as other wines. It's more a play on words.
Ah, forgive me. I've never heard of such a wine.
Don't worry. Nobody knows everything. Except for my wife. Tell me, good man, what's regarded in your country as the most prized Italian wine?
Malvasia, I think.
But that's the type of grape. I mean the type of wine. I surely don't have to tell you the grape variety is only half the taste.
Well, it's hard to come up with something off the top of my head, but I do enjoy this variety.
Ah, well, never mind. Let's carry on. Well then, let's move on to the next one. After all that quality stuff, let's refresh ourselves with something simpler. Would you like a Hippocras?
Certainly. The better ones will go straight to our heads. And I'll admit, I do like it from time to time.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It's not easy to make a good Hippocras. Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
I don't know. I'd say it's made with love?
Of course it is. But I meant a real ingredient, not some poetic nonsense.
Well, in that case, I couldn't tell you.
It's not that difficult. It's mint. But there's something off about it. Doesn't it seem a bit bland to you? As though it's missing something?
Ginger. It's missing ginger.
But of course. The cook told me they didn't have any at the market. You have a refined tongue, good man. I'll give you that. After that Hippocras, we should have something more high class. I've got a rare Hungarian wine from Eger. Very strong and very sweet.
Bring it on. This is no time for weak wine.
My thoughts exactly. So what do you think? Good, isn't it?
Very good and very red. Besides that, it has a sort of raised taste at the end of the tongue.
Raised taste? What do you mean?
It's hard to explain, but it really is very red.
As anyone can see at first glance. What will you tell me next? That the sky is blue?
And isn't it?
I drank this particular wine from Egger at a banquet held to celebrate the new city council. Hungarian government, Hungarian wine, and Hungarian delicacies. I was so looking forward to enjoying some nice Hungarian sausages or pate, but I ended up leaving disappointed.
How so?
They started bringing out melons, apples, plums, and all sorts of other fruit. And finally, they served fish. I don't eat fish, and fruit makes me burp. So I went hungry at a feast.
Well, that's very unusual. Fruit, fish, and red wine. Maybe it's some sort of Hungarian custom.
I was so disappointed that I wanted to make myself something at home to get rid of the taste. But I was so drunk that I fell asleep. The housekeeper woke me up, and what can I tell you? The porridge was charcoal, the kitchen was like a smokehouse, and I had egg on my face.
So, what's next?
Next? You drink like a fish, Goodman. I don't think I have anything else you might be interested in. Regardless, I have some work to do. Feel free to stay in my tavern and enjoy yourself.
Allow me to ask you one more question. I heard you get your supplies from the monastery vineyard.
And what of it? You're not a tax collector, are you?
No, I really am not.
I don't believe a word you say. So let's be clear, you sneak. My business with the monastery vineyard is all above board. Everything is set down in my ledger upstairs, and until I see your credentials, it's none of your business.
Don't get worked up. I'm not a tax collector.
I don't care. You're snooping around, sticking your nose where it don't belong. I've nothing more to say to you.
Maybe I should go and take a look around his office. His ledger is bound to be interesting.
Christ! Pardon me.
Ah!
Greetings. What's with all the blood?
I spoke to Havel.
And? How did it go?
I had a look around his office to see what I could see.
Well, I can't say I approve, but if you found something interesting...
I did indeed. It looks like a ledger of some sort.
Give it here. Let me have a look. 20 barrels of Rhine Riesling, 24 new barrels from the Cooper, 13 crates of Hungarian grapes for St. Gallus Day. Ah, here we are. It seems they ordered some sort of special incense that they burn in the barrels. That must be it.
What good would that do?
How should I know? What's interesting is that this isn't normally part of the winemaking process, so it might be just what we're looking for. Right, and here's a small reward so you don't go around saying old Casper's ungrateful. But now I need you to look into it further. We need to find out what this special incense is for. We'll have to take a look in the vineyard and take some of that incense.
We meaning me, right?
Of course I mean you. See how well we understand each other?
I'll do it, but I want more coin. It's a risky thing to do. What's more, it's the monastery's vineyard, and I don't want to end up on the wrong side of the church.
All right. I'll give you more, but I want you to know you're bleeding me dry as is.
I'm the one likely to actually bleed. Now tell me where to look. The vineyard is pretty big.
It's big, true. But there's a vineyard house right in the middle. The custodian lives there, as well as the workers, and it's also where all the supplies are stored. Besides, there's also a side garden where they grow new varieties of grapes. If you could manage to bring me a few seedlings, they could greatly help my own vineyard.
Where exactly is the vineyard?
A short way to the north of town. It's pretty large, you can't miss it.
How do I get in? Isn't it guarded?
The simplest thing would be to get hired as a labourer. There'll be lots of work there now that it's summer.
What if they catch me?
You have to be careful. The vineyard is closely guarded, especially at night, and thieves are punished very severely. Don't get caught.
I'm on it then.
Good luck, and take care, Henry. By the way, what about the business with the Manlikas? Did you manage to get hold of the book by Bouchek?
Yes, Miss Adletter is sweet. And she even gave me back your book. Here it is.
Ah, thanks very much. I'll try to sell it and pay off at least some of my debts. Take care.
Go!
Eh? You're not allowed here.
Are you hiring?
Us? Always. But don't be fooled. It's hard work. Days spent bent over in the sun. It's not for everybody. But you'll get a few groschen, something to eat, and a place to lay your head.
That sounds good.
I'll tell you tomorrow. For now, go and speak to the custodian, Jerome. He'll tell you what to do. Any questions?
Go away now.
What's in that building in the middle of the vineyard?
Vineyards aren't just vines. They need a place to sort, press, and wash the grapes. And we also need a place to lay our heads. We spend half a year up on this scorching hill after all.
What's the master custodian like?
Jerome? He's my cousin, and he gave me this job. Can't complain about him.
And the others?
I don't know, but I've never heard any complaints. You'll see for yourself soon enough.
What if I'm not up to it?
You have 2 arms and 2 legs, and that's all you need. The only thing we won't tolerate is someone slacking off. We have a lot of blow-ins, so don't expect any breaks. If you laze about for even a day, you'll be out of here. Understand?
I understand. I'll be going then.
All right, run along. Jerome will be waiting near the winery. And remember, wine is liquid gold, so we keep everything well guarded.
Don't worry. I don't steal.
I have to say that because we do get light-fingered individuals here from time to time. And now you know everything. Off you go to work. Take care for now.
Go away now.
I'm supposed to report to you. I'm new here.
Excellent. Another young shoot ready to sprout and produce the delicious fruits of labor.
Right. The shoot. That's me.
Forgive me, young man. I'm always pleased by the presence of someone who enjoys working.
That's great. In any case, I was sent to ask what you want me to do.
You'll start today, because why wait? There are a few hours left before the velvet blanket of night covers our vineyard.
Of course. I'll get to work then.
Excellent. What enthusiasm! What vigor! As our youngest laborer, you will be in charge of the eternal battle against the weeds that choke our beautiful plants. As soon as you spot one, imagine you're King David and uproot that evil from our land forever, just as he uprooted the Philistines from Israel.
If you hand me a slingshot, I can take on Goliath.
We hand out slingshots in autumn when we have trouble with starlings. Apart from that, you'll sometimes see a sack at the end of a row. In it are clippings and bad plants which you will take to the dung heap behind the winery here, where their earthly existence ends in the process known as decay.
All right. That doesn't sound too complicated. Weeding and organising a funeral for some plants.
To tell the truth, lad, work in the vineyard isn't complicated, but it is hard. I therefore suggest you don the vintner's crown, a straw hat. Do you have any other questions?
I'll get to it then.
May God bless your work. On you go, lad. Excuse me. Here it is. The final resting place of weeds from our vineyard, and a vast haven for flies. The dung heap. This is where you shall bring the sacks. And moreover, after a hard day's toil, you can lay your head down in that hut over there. Questions?
I have more questions.
Ask away, lad.
Forgive me, But why do you talk so strangely?
Truth be told, you're not the first to ask such a question. But the answer is simple. Our time on this earth is too short and precious to leave behind something ordinary. And I'm quite adept at speaking, unlike other human activities. So why not at least leave behind a pleasing impression?
I wonder what I'll leave behind.
I don't know, lad, and neither do you. But eventually the loom will run out of thread, and it's up to us what we leave behind. Whether it's a plain cloth or an ornate tapestry.
What's in this building here?
This is the winery, lad. It's the heart of the vineyard. Of course, the grapes must ripen in the vineyard and are harvested there. But here in the winery they are sorted, pressed and poured into barrels. As soon as we put the wine in barrels, it travels to the cool and dark monastery cellars, where it ages. Here it is, the final resting place of weeds from our vineyard, and a vast haven for flies, the dung heap. This is where you shall bring the
Call
sacks.
that dog
and
to heel.
moreover, after a hard day's toil, you can lay your head down in that hut over there. Questions?
Off you go.
I'm supposed to sleep beside the dung heap.
It's perfectly healthy, and I wouldn't worry
Aye.
about the smell.
That's right.
The odor
Just go
emanating
away.
from the other beds will be worse.
Great.
Now, get to work. The vineyard is large and there's plenty of work.
This horse wasn't cheap. That's for sure.
You have a kind master, eh? Much? Get out of here, mutt! No one wants to hear your barking. That's what I thought.
Here, Mutt. Do I want to send Mutt home? Mutt, to Devil's Den.
What a nice day.
This crate smells like sulfur. This could be it.
Where's it coming from here? Praise God.
Easy, good horse.
Keep your eyes on the road, you fool.
One more time.
He doesn't even know I exist.
Ah, that hurts, you idiot.
Whoa!
Praise God.
Taste the delicious... What do you want, you vagabond?
I'm back, and I've got the mysterious monastery incense. It looks like wood chips soaked in sulfur. It stinks a bit.
They were smoking barrels with this. Sulfur is the stink of hell, and this is a monastery vineyard.
Maybe there's another reason. The miners in Skalitz used to say where there's sulfur, it's easier to breathe. Healthier air.
But it stinks to high hell.
So do many noble delicacies, and they're still delicious.
I suppose you're right. I'll give it a try. I hope it doesn't make my wine reek. Here's your reward. I added a bit more, as we agreed.
I almost forgot. I have the seedlings.
Ah! I'm curious what they'll grow into. You've made me doubly happy, Henry. So, here's a little something on top for you. Take care. A sweet red, a sparkling white.